So finally, we have some general phrases and slang. So we have in the middle of, which just means you are busy doing something. So for example, you could say, can I call you back later? I'm in the middle of something. So you can see the picture of these people. So you have this guy is in the middle of everyone. This woman is also in the middle of everyone. And it basically just means that, the speaker is currently busy and unable to engage in a conversation at that moment. So that's in the middle of. Next up, we have comment out. And this basically means to temporarily disable a section of code by converting it into a comment. So it's very specific to software engineering. So for example, I would highly recommend just commenting out that section for now, since we might need it later. So this basically just means that you should disable the functionality of that code, but don't delete it, as it might be useful. So you could uncomment this code and then run this code if you need to. So again, it's commonly done in coding. I think almost always done in coding, actually. Yep. So next up, we have down. So down is an adjective, and it refers to a computer or system that's not working, usually for a limited time. So for example, the network will be down for 1 hour today for maintenance. So in tech, this basically means that a system is not functioning temporarily. So it should become active again. Also, it can mean feeling low. So this guy in the picture is probably experiencing an outage, or his systems are down, and he probably feels down as well. He probably feels a bit upset right now. He looks very angry, so he's down. So yeah, so an example is the network will be down for 1 hour today for maintenance. So again, this just means that it's unavailable for a very short period of time, and that repairs will happen, and at some point in the future, it will come back on. So that's down. So next up is a very powerful phrase for meetings. So when you're in a meeting, you might say this. So it basically means to postpone the discussion of a particular topic, usually because it's not suitable for that meeting. So I understand your problem, but we need to focus on the agenda items for this meeting. Let's take it offline. So if you're in a Scrum meeting and you're determining how long a project's going to take, and someone's then talking about another project, a senior or a project manager might say, let's take this offline, and we'll get together, or we'll touch base in 10 minutes after the meeting's finished. So again, it's a very polite way to defer a detailed conversation to a more private or specific setting. So again, it acknowledges that it's a problem, but it's saying not in this meeting, in a very polite way. So this is a very good phrase. Do recommend this one for meetings. So another phrase here is a once over. So again, this is actually a noun, but it basically means to examine something and look at something very quickly. So if you've got some code, you might get someone to give it a once over. So they might look at it very quickly. They might visually inspect the code. They might say, oh, there's a problem with the code. And so that would be them giving a once over. So again, it's just an inspection or an examination. So for example, be sure to give the contract a once over before you sign it. So it's usually quick. So a once over is usually very quick before the final approval. So next up is to reinvent the wheel. So this is the act of creating something that exists already or has already been done, usually unnecessarily. So an example, are you trying to write your own function? Don't waste your time reinventing the wheel. Something similar already exists. So again, you might be, I don't know, creating some software, but really you can just import it from an existing project. So yeah, so it basically implies that it's unnecessary and you don't need to do that. So we already have a solution for that. So don't reinvent the wheel. Okay, so next up we have scalable. So again, this is an adjective. It's used to describe a business or system that's easily able to grow or to be made larger. So, for example, we need to ensure that the changes we make are scalable in case of future growth. So, again, an example of scalable would be, or you could describe Amazon Web Services as being scalable. So, as you increase the problem or you increase the memory, the number of instances will increase either vertically, so the actual instance will increase, or horizontally, the number of instances will increase. So they are both types of scalability. So we want to design code to be scalable. So this is actually a really important term in tech startups because they need to be scalable. They need to be able to go from 0 employees and 0 processes, and they should be able to scale rapidly to hundreds of employees and to many processes. So the more scalable it is, the better it will be at being able to do that, to be able to grow. So the next up, we have take down. This is very common in content moderation. So Facebook will take down posts. They will take down comments. They will take down any object on Facebook's server that they think is inappropriate. So it basically means to remove or disable something, such as a website or online content. For example, Facebook decided to take down the post after it was reported by multiple users for containing hate speech. So hate speech could be racist, it could be sexist, misogynistic. So it basically means it was removed from Facebook, so you can't see it anymore. The next one is plug in. So this is a phrasal verb and it means to connect to a power source or another device. Don't confuse this with plugin, which is a noun. So a plugin is a small computer program that we often use with websites or with IDEs, and it basically means to allow us to work faster and have more features more quickly. So, for example, the Gmail plugin lets users quickly search their email. So do be careful with the phrasal verb and the noun plugin. So the phrasal verb plugin, the example could be, the reason your phone isn't charging is because you forgot to plug it in. So quite a simple one, but not to be confused with plugin. So the next one is proactive. So this means to take action to make changes yourself rather than reacting to things that are happening. So it's being proactive, not reactive, which is the antonym. So, for example, I'm a proactive employee who considers potential problems before they arise. So, for example, if you are proactive, you're thinking months, if not years in advance. So, an engineering manager needs to be very proactive. So maybe they know that there is a new project in the pipeline. So what they do is they hire some more mid-level engineers before the project takes place. So that is a proactive approach. So again, it's very common with approach or strategy.